What if I told you the truly wealthy aren't just good with money, but masters of habits you can't even see? These aren't flashy displays of luxury, but subtle daily routines that compound into massive success. Stick around, because I'm going to reveal these invisible habits and show you how to effortlessly integrate them into your life starting today. You've heard the advice before. Wake up at 4 a.m. Take cold showers, never treat yourself. Grind harder than everyone else. Here's the truth. Most of that advice is garbage. Dr. Thomas Stanley spent over 25 years studying millionaires. He interviewed more than 1,300 self-made wealthy individuals. His findings shocked him. The truly wealthy don't wake up at ungodly hours. They don't deprive themselves of everything enjoyable. They don't follow the flashy routines you see on social media. What they do is far more subtle and far more powerful. Let me tell you about Gene. Stanley interviewed him during his research. Gene earned a solid income working in middle management. Nothing spectacular. Yet Gene built millions in wealth. His neighbor earned twice as much. That neighbor drove a BMW, lived in a bigger house, sent his kids to expensive private schools. The neighbor had almost nothing saved. Gene drove a used Toyota, lived in a modest home for decades. His kids went to public schools. Gene understood something his neighbor didn't. Credit dependency gives away control to lenders. Spending to impress people means working for others your entire life. This distinction matters enormously. Most people confuse income with wealth. If you earn $200,000 annually and spend it all, you're not wealthy. You're maintaining a high consumption lifestyle. Wealth represents what you accumulate, not what you spend. The wealthy understand this distinction at a cellular level. Now, here's where things get interesting. Researchers at the University of Chicago studied over 26,000 loan applications. They discovered something fascinating about decision fatigue. Credit officers made worse decisions as the day progressed. Early morning, they approved smart loans. Midday, they started defaulting to rejections. Their brains got tired from making choices. The cost? Over 9 times a credit officer's monthly salary. In just 1 month. From tired brains making lazy decisions. Think about your own financial life for a moment. How many decisions did you make today? What to eat for breakfast? What to wear? Which route to take? Whether to check your email? Coffee or tea? Each decision depletes your mental energy. By evening, you're exhausted. That's when the credit card comes out. When the impulse purchases happen. When you order takeout instead of cooking. Your brain craves the path of least resistance. The wealthy know this, so they do something invisible. They eliminate financial decisions from their daily lives. Let me explain what that looks like. A researcher named Raj Chetty at Harvard studied consumption patterns. He found something peculiar. Wealthy households made fewer financial decisions than you'd expect. They automated everything possible. Savings withdrew automatically. Bills paid themselves. Investments happen without thought. This isn't laziness, it's strategic. When Stanley analyzed his Millionaire data, he found a pattern. The truly wealthy made financial decisions once. Then they automated the outcome. They didn't wake up each month wondering whether to save. The money moved automatically. They didn't debate whether to invest. It happened whether they thought about it or not. This represents the first invisible habit, removing willpower from wealth building. You might remember the Marshmallow test. Walter Mischel at Stanford gave 4-year-olds a choice. Eat 1 marshmallow now, or wait 15 minutes for 2. The kids who waited supposedly achieved more success later. Everyone loves this story. It became a parable about willpower and delayed gratification. Here's what they don't tell you. Recent research from NYU and UC Irvine studied over 900 children. The Marshmallow test's predictive power. It mostly disappeared when researchers controlled for family background. Kids from stable homes could wait because they trusted adults to deliver. Kids from unstable environments ate the marshmallow because experience taught them tomorrow's promises might not come. The lesson isn't about willpower. It's about environment. Wealthy people create environments where good financial behaviors happen automatically. They don't rely on daily willpower. They design systems that make wealth building the default option. Think about your checking account. Money arrives from your paycheck. It sits there. You have to decide what to do with it. Should you save? Should you invest? Should you pay extra on debt? Each question depletes mental energy. The wealthy bypass this entirely. Their system makes the decision. 10% moves to investments before they see it. Another portion pays down strategic debt. What remains covers expenses. They never decide. The system decides. This might sound obvious, yet research from behavioral economists shows most people don't do this. A study published in the Quarterly Journal of Economics examined over 3,000 households. The propensity to plan correlated more strongly with wealth accumulation than income level. People who made and automated plans accumulated substantially more wealth than higher income earners who relied on willpower. The researchers called it consumption commitments. Once you commit to automated financial behaviors, your brain stops fighting them. They become invisible, automatic, effortless. Let me tell you about decision architecture. Nobel laureate Richard Thaler studied how the order of choices affects outcomes. In retirement plans, he found something remarkable. When saving was the default option, when employees had to actively choose not to save, participation rates exceeded 90%. When saving required an active choice, participation dropped below 40%. Same people, same company, just one change in how choices were presented. The wealthy understand this principle intimately. They don't make heroic daily decisions about money. They set up systems where wealth building happens unless they actively prevent it. Here's the second invisible habit. They treat decision fatigue as a real enemy. Stanley's research revealed something else. Millionaires spent less time making purchase decisions than you'd expect. They didn't agonize over every acquisition. They created rules. Is it on the list? Buy it? Not on the list. Don't buy it. The decision happened when they made the list, not at the store. Compare this to average consumers. They walk into Target for toothpaste. They leave with $200 worth of items they didn't plan to buy. Why? Their brains were tired. Decision fatigue made them vulnerable. Research from Columbia Business School studied judges making parole decisions. Early morning, judges granted parole in 65% of cases. Late in the day, that number dropped to nearly zero. The same judges, the same types of cases, just tired brains defaulting to the safer option, rejection. Your financial life works the same way. Tired brains make expensive decisions, so the wealthy structure their days to protect their decision-making energy. They make financial decisions when fresh. Then they automate the outcome. Let me give you the third invisible habit. They obsess over what they can't see. Stanley found that millionaires track their net worth religiously, not their income, their net worth. They measured what they were accumulating, not what they were earning. Most people do the opposite. They focus on their salary, on their bonus, on visible achievements. The wealthy focus on invisible growth, the compound interest accumulating quietly, the increasing home equity, the growing investment accounts. A study in the Journal of Economic Psychology examined savings behavior. Researchers found that people who visualized their future wealth saved substantially more than those who didn't. The act of making the invisible visible, seeing their future financial position, changed present behavior. The wealthy do this constantly. They make wealth visible through tracking, but they make wealth building invisible through automation. Here's what this means for you. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. You don't need to eliminate all pleasure from your life. You don't need superhuman willpower. You need to copy these invisible habits. First, eliminate financial decisions from your daily routine. Set up automatic transfers. Automate your savings. Automate your investments. Automate your debt payments. Make these decisions once when your brain is fresh and motivated. Then let the system run. Research from the University of Pennsylvania studied this exact strategy. Participants who automated their finances accumulated wealth at rates comparable to people earning 30% more income. The automation effect was that powerful. Second, protect your decision-making energy. The wealthy don't make trivial financial choices repeatedly. They create rules. They make lists. They decide once and execute multiple times. You can do the same. Make your shopping list when you're not hungry. Decide your monthly budget when you're calm, not stressed. Create your investment strategy when markets are stable, not during a crash. Then stick to the decision you made when thinking clearly. Third, track what matters, not your income, your wealth. Measure your net worth monthly. Watch it grow. Research shows this simple act changes behavior more than almost any other intervention. A study published in Psychological Science examined over 600 households. Those who tracked their net worth monthly accumulated wealth at rates 3 times higher than those who didn't track. 3 times higher from just measuring. Let me be clear about something. These invisible habits won't make you rich overnight. They're not exciting. They don't feel powerful. That's precisely why they work. The flashy advice sells courses. The invisible habits build wealth. Stanley's research showed that wealth accumulation happens slowly. The millionaires he studied built their fortunes over decades, not years, decades. But here's the key. They didn't feel like they were sacrificing during those decades. Why? Because their systems ran automatically. They weren't exercising heroic willpower every day. Their finances ran on autopilot toward wealth. You can start this today, right now. Pick one financial behavior you want to establish. Make it automatic. Not tomorrow, today. Set up an automatic transfer to savings. Schedule automatic investments. Automate one bill payment, just one. Make it invisible. Then next month, add another, then another. Within 6 months, you'll have built a system that accumulates wealth while you sleep, while you work, while you spend time with family. The wealthy aren't smarter than you. Research from Cornell University examined IQ scores in wealth accumulation. They found no correlation above a certain threshold. Smart people and average people accumulated similar amounts of wealth. What separated them? Their systems, their invisible habits. Stanley interviewed a bus driver who built $3 million in wealth. A bus driver. He also interviewed doctors who lost millions. High IQ, high income, low wealth. The difference wasn't intelligence. It was system design. Let me tell you what happens when you don't establish these invisible habits. Decision fatigue wins. Every single day becomes a test of willpower. And research shows willpower depletes. It's a limited resource. Baumeister's famous studies on ego depletion demonstrated this. People who exercised self-control in one area had less willpower for other areas. If you spend all day resisting the urge to check social media, you'll lack willpower to resist buying that thing you don't need. The wealthy don't fight this battle. They remove the need for daily willpower by establishing systems. Think about it this way. Every financial decision you make manually is a leak in your wealth building system. It's a point where human error can enter, where emotion can derail you, where fatigue can cost you. Automation seals those leaks. Research from the Journal of Consumer Research studied purchasing behavior. People who had to actively decide to save money each month saved 63% less than people who had automated the same amount. Same income, same savings goal. Just one was manual, one was automatic. The manual approach failed because it relied on daily decision-making. The automatic approach succeeded because it eliminated the decision. Now, I want you to do something. Don't just watch this video and move on. Take action right now. Pull out your phone. Open your banking app. Set up one automatic transfer. Pick an amount that won't hurt. $20, $50, whatever works for your situation. Make it automatic. Make it invisible. Then subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Why? Because we're going to continue revealing these invisible habits, the ones actually wealthy people use, not the flashy nonsense you see everywhere else. Next week, I'm revealing the invisible habit that separates millionaires from people who just look rich. It's about mental accounting, and it'll completely change how you think about money. But you'll miss it if you don't subscribe and turn on notifications right now. Here's the bottom line. Wealth isn't built through heroic acts of willpower. It's built through boring, invisible systems that compound over time. The wealthy understand this. They've automated their path to financial freedom. You can do the same. Not by working harder, not by depriving yourself, but by making wealth building automatic, by establishing invisible habits that work while you live your life. The research is clear. The data is overwhelming. Automated systems beat willpower every single time. Not sometimes, every time. So stop trying to outdiscipline the wealthy. Start copying their invisible habits instead. Make one thing automatic today, then another next month. Build your system piece by piece. In 5 years, you'll look back and realize you've built substantial wealth without feeling like you sacrificed anything. That's the power of invisible habits. That's how the truly wealthy do it. And now, you know their secret. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next invisible habit we're revealing. This information could change your financial future, but only if you're here to receive it. I'll see you in the next one.